there. He's every fucking where. Roy Kent. What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Whitmer here, and welcome in to another week. Or what did I say last week? Another day, another dollar. We're here for NFL weekly reactions. I am joined with the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Neverman.
How we doing?
Jake, well, I'm conflicted. We'll get into it because I'm a fan that is rooting for losses this year. And my team did not do that this week. This is probably, the listeners or the viewers probably know this, but this was nearly a perfect weekend for you. Or
not nearly. No. It was a perfect weekend for me. None of my sports teams lost Friday through Sunday. Genuinely, a perfect
there are only
weekend.
2 of them?
No, Yankees swept the Red Sox.
That's right. I forget baseball's still a thing.
Yeah.
Season ends on Sunday.
Yeah.
Then the wild card starts on Monday. Can't wait
see if we get in.
Can't wait to bet postseason baseball. That's what I can't wait for.
I just hope the Yankees are in it, or else I have no interest.
You guys are in it right now. I thought you guys had the second
right
wild
now
card spot.
We have the first wild card spot right now, but we played the Blue Jays followed by the Rays to end the season. So
because the NL, the Dodgers have that first wild card spot. Them or the Giants have it locked.
I was gonna say I think it's pretty secure. It's gonna be one of them because before the year, all of us were saying Dodgers first wild card spot.
Well, the Padres, man, we all thought they were gonna be better.
Some teams aren't built for it.
Yeah, we got a great slate of football, though, to talk about, Jake. Before we get into everything, though, let's get that housekeeping out of the way. Number one, if you're not in the MVP Discord, you are behind the 8 ball. Join the greatest community in the universe. That link is down below in the description. You can also check out our Patreon page if you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids. We cannot do what we do every day without the help of our patrons and our channel members. So if you want to be one of those and get rewarded for it, check out that down below. And then lastly, hit that sub button, that notification bell, or as Jake likes to call it, the notification bell, because that's normal English, Ricky. Ooh la la, normal English.
Normal English, and Pluto's not a planet.
And Pluto is definitely a planet. Live on Pluto. Not. I'm fighting with you. But Jake, we got 16 games on the docket today. And we start as we do all the time with the Thursday night game. And I'll be completely honest, I expected this outcome. And I will say this. This game might have made me put $50 additional into my FanDuel account to place a $50 bet on Sam Darnold to win Comeback Player of the Year. That might have happened on Thursday night going into Friday. Just saying. Plus 1,200 odds. Let's go.
I have no words to respond to that.
Am I wrong though?
Yes.
He's having one of the best comeback years after that trash year he had in New York last year.
I don't have a response to that currently.
Who has a better case than Sam Darnold? And if you say Dak Prescott,
Dak Prescott.
I thought you were going to say Jameis Winston for a second.
No, I don't think Jameis can win it because he's not technically come back because he didn't get hurt. I'm not sure the parameters and actually.
Do you have to be hurt to win Comeback Player of the Year?
I assume so, right?
Okay. See,
I don't know if you can come back.
See, I don't know.
Because if you really want to come back Player of the Year, we'll get into later. We'll get into Teddy Two Gloves and Teddy Bridgewater and the 3-0 Denver Broncos. We'll get with them, Ricky. How about them apples?
Because right now, let's see. Season awards. The guys who are at the front runner right now on betting odds, Dak Prescott is minus money. Jesus. Joe Burrow is plus 500. Sam Darnold is now plus 800. That has gone down since I placed my plus. Is it plus? Did I get him plus 12 or plus 14? Let's see. I got Sam Darnold at plus 1,400. So I could cash out right now and make $11 on Sam Darnold.
You should.
If I wanted to.
Take your money. You should take your money.
If I wanted to. But no, I'm going to stay in for the full $750 I will win when that bet cashes in with my Aaron Rodgers MVP, with my Packers Super Bowl. But let's talk about the game, Jake. Panthers, they're surprising me. Yes, the schedule, they had 2 games against dog shit teams, Jets and Texans.
And another team
surprising me.
and another game against a team that was missing 10 starters and 8 coaches. So now the worry becomes is that they did the same thing that did last year, and they ran Christian McCaffrey into the ground, and now he's going to miss multiple weeks again.
But now they got Sam Darnold. They got Sam Darnold. Sammy D, baby.
I was such a long Sam Darnold supporter for literally 2 years. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get off the train because he looked like bad last year. And then he comes and does this year.
You can't get off the train. Nuh-uh,
it is 3 weeks. I'm gonna reel it in a little bit. It is 3 weeks. They played the Jets, who are, you know who they are, the Saints, who are missing a ton of starters, and now the Texans. It looked at times like in the second quarter, third quarter, this game was still in the balance, and the Panthers kind of took it by storm and took it away. So they're winning games, what they need to do, and obviously I'm not taking anything away from them. Sam Darnold's been incredible so far. I'm just not ready to change after 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, I'm not ready to change.
Looking at the Panthers' upcoming schedule, this week 4 is going to be a big one because they go to D-Town, baby. It's comeback player of the year candidate Dak Prescott against comeback player of the year Sam Darnold. The comeback player's going to fight it out in D-Town.
Greatest comeback since Kim Kardashian.
I mean, that's their toughest test. After that, it's Eagles, Vikings, Giants, Falcons.
This
team could literally rail off 4 more wins after they lose.
I said it last week is they're probably going to start 7-1. That would be my assumption. But it's still not over at that point because they still have to finish out their schedule. The division games are going to be interesting when they play the Bucs twice and they play the Saints again. The Falcons or whatever at this point. We'll get into them.
The Texans are just tank mode, right? Like your season.
Oh, full tank mode. Yeah, they're full tank.
They're 0-3 right now. 0-3. I'm sorry, 1-2. They beat Jacksonville. They beat the Jaguars. Forgot about that.
That doesn't say much.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I just it is what it is. They beat the Texans and they keep getting the job done, which is you can't really say much about it, but they keep getting it done. And Sam Darnold looked good again, just not making mistakes, which is what he needed to do coming away from New York. So, I mean, it could continue. I don't know. And I'm not fully sold after 3 weeks.
And the one thing I will apologize for is not showing that graphic sooner, because I was like, oh shit, there was a graphic that I should have put up there, Jake. But the next game that we're gonna talk about, this has the most conversation around it, Jake, especially because of where I live. Like, I can't get enough of sports radio right now here in Chicago. Because the Bears got absolutely demolished by the Cleveland Browns to where here's what's going on in Chicago, Jake. There are obviously the fire Matt Nagy conversations going on. Yeah. There are the conversations that Justin Fields isn't as good as he should be, and it was a wasted pick to draft him. It was a goofball move to trade up for him. And then the third one, which I love the best, Jake, is the conspiracy theory that Matt Nagy called plays to sabotage Justin Fields to make him look bad so he could go to ownership and say, see, he's not ready yet. I want Nick Foles or Andy Dalton to be my guy.
Who drew up that offensive game plan? Because it was so bad. People were blaming Justin Fields. He got sacked 9 times. Yeah. He was pressured something like 14 times on 20 throws. What do you listen, I want to blame Matt Nagy. Yes. Do I think he should have a job? No. But you know what? The man who puts this roster together and has neglected an offensive line for 3 years is Ryan Pace. You know why these teams like the Saints and the Patriots and now the Chiefs and the Browns and all these teams, they reload their offensive and defensive lines consistently every year. You know how I get annoyed with the Saints taking offensive linemen? You know what it turns out is they have a top 5 offensive line every year, which means they have good quarterback protection. Like, listen, I said last week that Justin Fields needed to play out of his mind to keep this job because most likely Dalton or Foles was going to come back. He couldn't. He literally couldn't. It looked like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And for an entire game. That is like it's why
it was worse than that. It was worse than that, Jake. It was worse.
And you know what's even worse is that Matt Nagy, I just saw before we went live, wasn't supposed to speak to the media, and now he's scheduled to speak to the media tomorrow, which I'm sure that means that Nick Foles is going to start on Sunday. And you know what's going to be hilarious? When Nick Foles, who was only good in Philadelphia because he had offensive line protection,
Yeah.
plays behind an offensive line again, is terrible.
So
It is so mind numbing.
here's another thing that's making its rounds on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. Someone recorded the upper right corner of the broadcast, and
Oh, Nick Foles.
they're showing Andy Dalton, but Nick Foles' mouth comes into frame,
Yeah.
and he mouths, "Yeah, this offense ain't working," or like something along those lines, to where it's like your own quarterbacks don't think your offense is working. To where does Matt Nagy, like, here's the conversation I had with some coworkers this week. Yes, Matt Nagy deserves to be fired. But here's the problem I think the Bears are in with the firing Matt Nagy. Who do you get to replace him? Because, like, there are some candidates out there. I would love, like, one of the candidates I would go after right away is Coach Dabo up in, or Dabo up in Buffalo. Not Dabo Sweeney. He's a crack pipe. He's got, like, his drip is wearing off because Clemson's a bum right now. But like Dabo up in Buffalo, what he's been doing with Josh Allen, could you imagine what he could do with Justin Fields? But here's the thing. You got all these assistants. Just because you're a good assistant doesn't mean you're a good head coach. Is there a good head coaching candidate out there for the Bears? Or is it just the Bears have never, like, you mentioned offensive line? How many effing years have we talked about the Bears? And every single year it's like, man, they don't have a good offensive line. I feel like the last decade has been the Bears don't have a good offensive line.
Yeah, it's beyond frustrating. I don't even think, like, yeah, you can fire Matt Nagy and it might make a slight improvement, but the team's still not going to be good.
No.
Because Khalil Mack is still a ghost defensively. Robert Quinn is still a ghost defensively. Offensive line is a joke. You can't even get the ball to Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney because you have no damn time for them to get downfield. And David Montgomery's a great running back, but he can't run the ball because his offensive line can't block. Like, it is so frustrating. This team, you cannot be a good NFL team unless, like Patrick Mahomes making it to the Super Bowl last year was an outlier. You cannot be a good team if you can't even have an average offensive line. Like, it's embarrassing.
I was listening to Waddle and Silvely today on my drive home, and they had Big Cat on from Barstool. Yeah. Big Cat had the best comment ever. He said, "Is Mitch Trubisky the greatest quarterback ever? Because he was able to bring the Bears to the playoffs with Matt Nagy's system." He was able to get to the playoffs with that system. Greatest of all time, right? Greatest of all time, Mitch Trubisky?
I don't know about that, but it's
everyone in the studio was like, "Stop it right now."
It's not like, listen, I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed. I genuinely, listen, it is a complete conspiracy theory, but man, it looked like Justin Fields was being sabotaged on Sunday. I was my brother-in-law is a Bears fan, so we had the game on the entire time, and I was watching. I'm like, they just literally are blocking no one. Like, I don't know what to say other than it was just odd, and like blaming Justin Fields is it's just not right.
Good win for the Browns though. Like, I hate that this is all about the Bears, but like the Browns,
it's one of those situations where you can't even say the Bears, like the Browns just like took advantage of the Bears' stupidity. Like, it is what it is.
The next game though, another thrashing. The Buffalo Bills. They get a 43-21 win over the football team. And Jake, this is something to where the football team has been playing, like, I know they were 1-1 coming into this. They've been playing well this season. And Ron Rivera is a good coach. This is not a terrible Washington football team. In my mind, is this just more of like all right, the Bills were rusty week 1. They looked more alive against the Dolphins, shut them out, had a really good game, and now they had another real good game. Is this just them waking up and it's like, okay, the Bills are back?
Yeah, the Bills are the Bills. People overreact to week 1. Are we shocked? Never. Listen, the football team, I thought this defense was going to be so elite and so good. I haven't seen it in any of the first 3 weeks. I don't know what happened. They've just been manhandled on the last 2 weeks, even allowing 29 points to the Giants, now 43 points to the Bills. Like, man, I don't feel confident in this defense to turn it around anytime soon. And then Taylor Heineke on offense, it's just strictly not good enough. Like, we talked about them needing a quarterback, and I joked about Cam Newton, but Cam Newton would probably be better right now, honestly. So, I mean, I'm just saying, is he worth the locker room distraction? Probably not. But this team is just in so much disarray. The next couple weeks are super important to them. And I think I'm going to their, not this week. I think I'm going to their game next week against the Saints. And I don't know if they're going to be able to beat the Saints with how this offense looks.
Yeah. And I mean, looking at the Bills side, first off on our graphic, want to apologize. Screwed up the Bills stats. I was looking, I was like, oh, those are the Browns players. Forgot to change those over to the Bills players. So there was a mistake on that graphic. But like, I'm looking at the Bills schedule, and it's like, yeah, they get the Chiefs in 2 weeks, but they get another tune-up game in the Texans.
Yeah.
They get the Texans at home next week. Then it's like, okay, you get the Chiefs and the Titans back to back, but it's one of those things where I think the 3 games, Dolphins, football team, and now the Texans, this is just the Bills gearing up. And it's like, okay, Buffalo's here. Buffalo is who we thought they were.
They are
a team who is going to be a challenger for the Super Bowl, a challenger to Patrick Mahomes' throne as the king of the AFC.
Well, we'll get to Patrick Mahomes. Don't you worry there, kid. But yeah, the Bills are just back to being themselves. We knew they would be elite. We knew their offense would be elite. It's just what we thought. They are who we thought they were.
We are who they thought they were. Well, I'm off the hook. And that's how the Detroit Lions are feeling this week, Jake. Because the Ravens, 19-17, Justin Tucker, 66-yard field goal?
Oh, we don't need to talk about that. We need to talk about the play before where they let him a 4th and 19, and then a 66-yard field goal. I feel so bad for Motor City, Dan Campbell. Like,
he was going to get the first win of his first win of his Lions career against a good Ravens team at home. This is a morale boosting kind of win, and you lose it in 2 plays. Like, literally, this game came down to 4th and 19, longest field goal ever.
I remember we literally stood up when he kicked the ball and it hit the front of the. I was like, "Holy shit!" It's the opposite of the double doink. Like, I don't know how that game was insane. Lamar just looked off his game the entire time. I do have to say, credit to the Lions, they are competing. You know, they're going to be terrible and they're going to win 2 or 3 games probably this year. But at least Motor City, Dan Campbell has them competing every week. So that's a positive sign. Jared Goff is the tank commander as we know him, and the Ravens haven't looked great, but they've somehow beaten the Chiefs and the Lions. It's so weird that they beat the Chiefs last week and then they almost lost to the Lions this week. It's just like
2 games that came down to like last second heroics. Like, think about how that Chiefs Ravens game ended. The heroics, the like, Lamar, what do you want to do? Fuck it, we're gonna go for it on 4th. Like, yet again, this one, a big 4th down, 4th and 19. Like, you could make an argument that this Ravens team should be 0-3 to start this season. They should be 0-3. You could make the argument that they should have lost to the Chiefs. They should have lost to the Lions. But guess what? This is football. Like, this is the way the ball bounces. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. It's like the Boston Connor from the Pat McAfee crew tweeting out a bet he made, 2 weeks ago? The Julio Jones 2+ touchdowns. And then he showed a picture of the Julio touchdown that they call the not touchdown. And he's like, football's a game of inches. Sometimes it's a game of inches.
Or it's a game of refs fucking you over. Oh, wait, sorry. 28.
Can we just say the refs have been horrible this year? Like, consistently horrible. And I can't stand for it.
You know what's funny is I saw a clear pass interference, so they didn't call it. I'm like, only there was a way that they could review these calls and get them right. You know, wouldn't that just be a great thing to have? Oh man, just maybe they could think about that one time and implement a review on pass interference.
Yeah, I mean, or do what hockey does and have a central office, like a central replay office, and if it's something that's like, okay, that's egregious, they buzz to the ref and say, hey, you should take a look at this. Hey, just gonna say, you should take a look at this. Now, people don't like that because it's like, oh, you're making my football longer.
I'd rather them get the calls right.
Bingo. I mean, it's like soccer with the whole VAR. Get the call right. Get the call right at the end. Or I'm sorry, football. Get the call right. Get the call right. VAR. But yeah, the Ravens, you could make a argument that they should be 0-3. Thing I was going to say about them, my biggest worry for them is without fucking J.K. Dobbins out there, this run game, like it's kind of like, to quote the Boondock Saints, Doc, we got to get you a proverb book because this mix and match shit has got to go. Like Latavius Murray on 1 week, off this week. Williams was good 1 week, not so good this week. Like, this team needs a consistent run game, or else this season's going to get dicey for the Baltimore Ravens.
You're not going to get it from Latavius Murray, I'll say that much.
I mean, both you and I know that. Former Viking and former Saint.
I mean, he great last year for us. Came into training camp overweight and slow. So, I mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, the former Viking, like, what, 2 years ago? Last year? Was it before the 49ers he was on the Vikings? No, he was on the Vikings. He backed up Adrian Peterson, I want to say.
The Saints.
Yeah.
He came from the Saints from the Vikings.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Went to the Saints from the Vikings. But next game, the Colts and the Titans. This was probably the thing I heard, and I want to hear if you agree with this. Probably the best game the Colts have played all season. Wasn't good enough to win. Still wasn't good enough to win.
They are who I thought they were.
0-3.
I told you they weren't going to be good. People were like, Carson Wentz is going to be the savior. Carson Wentz is going to...
When the troll becomes the truth.
I'm just saying, I was told that Carson Wentz is going to be great and be this consistent quarterback. He was hurt earlier in the year. He comes in, throws like I think his QBR in this game was like 66. It's like, it's not surprising. He is who I thought he was. He's a bum. That's who he is. He's a bum. And, you know, Jonathan Taylor's great. Their offensive line's very good. Quentin Nelson's a generational guard. Like, they have talent all around the field. It's just your quarterback isn't good enough. And I don't know. Like, Frank Reich was like the Wentz whisperer. I don't believe in most of that stuff.
The Wentz whisperer.
He's just, and this receiving core, like Pittman Jr. looked very good, but besides that, just very hit or miss. This team, I didn't have faith in them earlier in the season. Stick with it as of now.
I will say the Titans, though, we talked about not overreacting to week one. Yep. I was in the category. You go back to our week one reactions, and I was on the side of like, Arthur Smith. They are missing Arthur Smith. No, the Cardinals just played a better game that week. Because
the Cardinals are just very good. We'll get to that. They're just very good.
Or the Cardinals are good, or the Seahawks, who the Titans played in week 2, are not as good as everyone thinks they are. We'll get into the Seahawks in a little bit, but like the Titans beat the Seahawks in Seattle, which I didn't think was possible. I didn't think you were allowed to go into the 12th man and get a win up there in Seattle, and then beating the Colts. Like the Titans, to me, this is something where they're 2-1 right now. They'll probably be 4-1 after the next 2. I don't see the Jets or the Jaguars getting wins over the Titans unless like some miraculous upset happens. So like, what, this team has 2 tune-up games before it plays the Bills 3 weeks from now in Nashville, Tennessee. Like after that, they've got Bills, Chiefs, Colts, and then Rams. So like the schedule toughens up, but like yet again, just like the Bills. All right, this Titan team kind of looking like the team we thought they would be coming into the year.
Seems to happen a lot, Ricky, that people overreact to week 1 and then teams get them together. It's almost like it's a 17-game season.
18-game season, isn't it?
18 weeks.
18-week season.
Yeah,
I mean, in a couple years, it'll be an 18-game season, right? They'll just keep.
In a couple of years, we'll just play year round. Fuck it. 2 different leagues.
I wouldn't hate that. I know that it's bad on the body, but I wouldn't hate that as a fan.
No, I hate it. I love like the months away from football make you appreciate it more. If you just had it all the time, you wouldn't watch as much.
So the next game, I have a question for you. Chargers, they get the win over the Chiefs.
Man.
Here's my question, because now I'm going to probably fuck up the quoting of it. And I'm sorry if I do, but there's a part of me that heard Colin Cowherd say this. And I went, you know what? I don't really disagree with him. He was saying, now, he didn't say that Air Bear is better than Patrick Mahomes. Like, he said Patrick Mahomes has earned being called the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Like, he has earned that.
Yeah.
But when you look at Mahomes and Air Bear this past Sunday, there's not really a gap. The gap ain't there to where it's like Air Bear in a couple years. Like Air Bear's already really good. He's got the body. In a couple of years, Air Bear might be the best quarterback from his draft class and may be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, that's fair. But to say he's better than Mahomes now,
No. Not saying he's better. It's that the get like that the when you look at like usually when it's like somebody who's in their second year and Patrick Mahomes, there's like, oh, it was a huge gap. That gap isn't really that big. Like Air Bear kept up with Mahomes, even though Mahomes is. It's like it's almost saying like Mahomes is better, but Air Bear wasn't that far behind him.
Mahomes had a bad game this game. Say it straight up. But Mahomes in his second year as a starter threw for 50,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and won a Super Bowl. So I don't know if I agree with that. Herbert is very good. Herbert is going to be elite, going to be a top 5, top 3 quarterback, whatever in the NFL. He's great. Mahomes is, man, he made some bad decisions in this game, some bad throws, and Herbert was just flawless this entire game. Herbert was great. That's really all it came down to is the quarterback battles. Herbert really didn't make a single mistake, and Mahomes made about 5 of them. So it's simple. Sometimes the games are that simple. It comes down to quarterback decisions.
My question for you, if you're put yourself into a Kansas City Chief fan right now, you're 1-2 right now after 3 weeks. How worried are you? Because the Broncos are 3-0, the Raiders are 3-0. Those are 2 teams we're going to get into their games a little bit later, but both of them are 3-0, and now the Chargers are 2-1 with a win over you.
I'm not too worried yet. It's week 3. Like I said, I until Patrick Mahomes proves me wrong, I refuse to bet against him. So
I agree.
I let it. If you're sitting at week 10 and you're sitting around 500, yeah, then that's the time about to worry. But week 3, 1-2, Mahomes had an off game. You lost by 6. I'm not too worried yet.
And I will say, their schedule, I'm looking at the Chiefs' schedule. It's not easy, but the NFL, it didn't do them the favors that it did the Bills and the Titans. Where the Bills, they get 2 easy teams. The Titans get 2 easier teams. The Chiefs get the Eagles, who's an easier team. All right, now play the Bills. Okay, Washington, that's an easier team. All right, now play the Titans. Oh, the Giants, that's an easier team. All right, now play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. There's not that and some people may say Ricky, they're still giving them some fluffy teams, but there's not that okay, we get 2 weeks of non-fluffy teams. Spider says Chiefs are overrated. They lost depth. They have no third target. They have no pass rush. Still a playoff team, but won't make it to the Super Bowl. Is that normal reaction that they won't make it to the Super Bowl? Because many people just put the Chiefs. All right, they're the Super Bowl favorite. They are the AFC guy.
Yeah, they should still be the favorites. Them or the Bills from the AFC. I still think that. I'm not sure my opinions can be swayed after 3 weeks. That's what I have to constantly say. It's 3 weeks, people. Once we get to week 5 through 7, then we can start kind of talking about expectations and all that. But the Broncos are 3-0 right now. They could be, I don't even know, 4-6 by the time week 11 comes around. Just too early.
All right, Jake. It's time. As Bruce Buffer would say, it's time. Get on your soapbox. You get to talk about your team. Saints get the win 38-13 over Mac Jones, the second coming, and the Patriots.
What did I say about Mac Jones in the draft process, Ricky? Ricky, what did I say?
That he's going to be Rookie of the Year. Let's go.
No, I didn't say that, Ricky. What did I say? What did I say?
He's going to be the second best quarterback behind Trey Lance.
Didn't say that either. I said he's going to be average.
Fine. He's going to be the third best behind Zach Wilson and Trey Lance.
I don't think I can stand on the Zach Wilson peg right now. Yeah, I just, I said about Mac Jones that he is what he is and he's okay, but his deep accuracy is not there. And, look at that. He threw 3 interceptions against the Saints. And Jameis Winston, 0. 2 touchdowns.
Saints have a really good defensive backcourt, though.
They do. But Mac Jones
surprise people?
It does surprise people because, when they drafted a big, I don't want to say what, but quarterback, you know what I'm leaning towards there with New England. No, it's the second coming of Brady. That we need to get it. We talked about this in the Discord a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
This notion that the Patriots can't make wrong decisions because of the reputation they've earned. Let's go back and look at some of the moves they've made recently. Second round pick for Mohamed Sanu. How'd that work out for you? Mac Jones first round pick. N'Keal Harry first round pick. Spending the most money in free agency ever this offseason. Jonnu Smith was one of those signings. He couldn't even catch the ball, and it got turned into an interception for the Saints, a pick six. Jameis Winston, it was clear that the entire game plan was do not turn over the ball. It was I saw Peyton said at the beginning of the week or something like that the Patriots haven't lost in a decade at Gillette Field when they win the turnover battle.
Mm-hmm.
So strictly, they were like, don't fucking throw the ball into coverage. Don't turn the ball over.
And like I will say, like that's how Jameis Winston. Like I hate Jameis Winston. I've hated him since he was at Florida State. I've hated him since he was drafted. Mariota over Winston till the day I die. But like the thing I will say is I'm speaking to you, the people. Oh, he's getting a Winston jersey. Oh, he's getting a Winston jersey. Oh,
let's go.
Oh, that's so disgusting. Who would let you wear that? Why would you want to wear that? Like, just wear a Drew Brees jersey. I know he can't hear me, but like, why would you wear that? Just wear a Drew Brees jersey.
No, Jameis is my QB1. What do you mean?
Hit the fucking hits. Let's go. No, like, but what I was saying, I may hate Jameis Winston, but all of that bias aside, if you're gonna win with Jameis Winston, you gotta limit the turnovers.
Yep.
If Sean Payton can be a whisperer and limit Jameis Winston's biggest negative, then the Saints can be successful. Because Jameis Winston, without that, is going to be a guy that'll throw 50 touchdowns, but 102 interceptions.
Listen, the Saints defense is fully out elite. Mm-hmm. It's just simple as that. They weren't healthy week 2, so I'm writing that out. They were missing like 6 starters. Yeah. Week 1 and 3, they've been fully healthy. They've allowed 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
They are so good, and the Saints know this, and the Saints are literally like, all we have to do is run the ball, control the ball, Jameis make a throw here and there. The defense will pick up the slack. For years, the Saints were offense, and never won a Super Bowl. They should have won one. Yeah, we know the refs fucked them. But what's the saying? Defense wins championships, and this defense is so elite.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing with it is on the Patriots side, this is going to be, for them, this is going to be a year of ups and downs. Like, I know because Cowherd had Patriots -3 in his Blazing 5, and he was he's like, this is something where Saints living out of a hotel, blah, 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 this, that, and like coaches with COVID, like he's listing all these negative things, and it was like, oh, that didn't really affect them this game.
Can I also say, like, it should have been a blowout. It should not have been as close as it was.
It kind of was a blowout.
No, but Rosas mixed 2 kicks in the first half. It should have been 20-0.
Okay.
It was just like, thank God Will Lutz is back soon, because I can't take it. I haven't had a bad kicker in a while. Oh my God. You as a Vikings fan should know for sure.
I mean, you haven't had to use your punter either in a while. Like before this year, you haven't had to use your punter.
We have a brand new punter this year. Isn't that funny how that works? As soon as we don't know we're going to have to start using them, we get a new one.
The next game, though, Jake, I'll be honest, this game bored me to death.
Oh, we don't even have to talk about this one.
Bored me to death. The Falcons beat the Giants. Here's my only takeaway from this, because I know the Falcons won. Congratulations, you're on the board. You got your first win. That's all I need to say about the Falcons. Here's where I take away from this game. Number 1, Daniel Jones is not the future. Get rid of him now. And I know this is only his 2nd season. Fire Joe Judge. Fire him. Get them both out of here. It ain't working. Something needs to change. The Giants are horrible. This team may go 0-17 this year.
Well, they
may go 0-17.
They won't go 0-17 because their offense is good enough to win a game.
Or do they? Ooh, do they play the Jets?
They play this. Yeah, of course they'll play the Jets.
Wait.
Right?
Oh no, they play the Bears. They play the Bears. That's a win right there, right?
They should play the Jets too. The Giants and the Jets usually play.
Soapy, bad team versus bad team. Got that right.
Look, all I'll say about this game is I very much loved it because these are the type of games the Falcons need to lose to get a number 1 pick, and they keep winning them. So keep winning 5 to 6 games, not get your number 1 overall pick. Love it. Don't have to see Kayvon Thibodeau inside my division. I don't need that.
I mean, I just look at it and I go, this is Daniel Jones's third year. I know second year under Joe Judge, because Joe Judge came in last year, and it's like, I know this is only Joe Judge's second year, but like, if this Giants team finishes worse than 6-10, which they were last year, would you fire Joe Judge, or would that be too like reactionary, or would
it
you
all
give him a
depends in
third year?
context because again, they just drafted horribly. I think Gettleman is more the problem than Joe Judge. Gettleman's been the problem for a long time,
Truth.
and he continues to have a job. And
Aren't they not even using the wide receiver they fucking
he
drafted?
just played this week. He just
Okay.
played this. Kadarius Toney just started playing this week, basically.
And
But
I
then they
mean,
took Andrew Thomas fourth last year, and he is horrendous.
Yeah.
Like he is awful at tackle. Like
Yeah.
it's embarrassing at some point.
and I will be honest, I know that maybe Daniel Jones got a little bit of the nerves going this week because Eli Manning was in the building, doing his little salsa dance, flipping his birds. Did you see that on Monday Night Football, by the way?
Yeah, I watched the entire Peyton and Eli thing.
When Eli flipped the two birds and was like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I sat there and went, no, you don't need to apologize, Eli. ESPN is too soft. You flip those birds if you want to. Fuck the FCC. But I mean, yeah, it's just one of those where this game bored me, and I looked at it and I went, yeah, something needs to change. Because if I was a Giants fan, now I know New Yorkers and New York fans get furious over anything. They could have been 3-0 and been yelling at their team. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. But moving on, Joe Burrow's another win, another day, another win. The Bengals are 2-1, and Big Ben did not look good in this game. Jake, this is a win-win for you.
Who could have thought that the Steelers weren't going to be that good this year? Because their offensive line. Tell me you saw the clip of Ben backpedaling out of the shotgun and falling. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh,
when he fell flat on his face too.
Oh
in that
my god, dude, that is like, oh, it was so good to watch. I was with some Steeler fans, my family, if you don't know, from Pennsylvania. Most of my family are Steeler fans. Watching that game with them, they don't no worse. My stepdad, who I actually live with, is a Patriots fan, and I'm a Saints fan. God. So I wasn't at home, and I came home after the game, and I just looked at him. I was like, "Sup?
How you doing?"
And he's a staunch Jameis hater, like for years. But yeah, Steeler fans don't understand how to lose, and the notion that I got before the season was, we've never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin, so it's not going to happen now. I'm like, if you finish, if you're really going to hold on to that one, if you finish 8-8, is that a good year then? Because you didn't have a losing season.
8-8.
8-9 now. Yeah, you're right.
So they finish 8-8. You got to be 9-8.
I forgot about that. So you can't have a non-winning. You have to have a winning or losing record. You can't be even. So that'll be interesting to watch. The Steelers' offensive line is horrendous. It's beyond a joke. The Steelers have a couple good players, and besides that, their team's garbage. Is that anything else?
No, I mean, like, the only thing with the Steelers too is Najee Harris. Not saying he's bad, but
he's great.
I feel like people expected him to just come in and put up Le'Veon Bell type numbers.
He put up better than Le'Veon Bell numbers this week.
I'm saying, like, boom, like, here we go, 100-yard rusher every single game.
Yeah, 104 yards receiving this game.
Yeah, but I'm talking like he had 102 yards receiving. He had a good game, but like the run game to me is what, like, and yet again, you could say same thing with like what game was it? The Bucs game that we'll talk about. Towards like, oh, well, you got to abandon the run because you get down by so much. You're throwing it more than running it. But like, to me, it's just like Big Ben's declining. Najee Harris looks good some games, good other games, but yet again, it's a rookie. And like Soapy says, Jamar Chase looks incredible. But you want to know why he looks incredible? It's almost like the Bengals did well drafting to say, hey, we have a quarterback. Why not go and get the number one target that he had in college, that they already have a rapport, and we can fucking build a quarterback wide receiver duo with both of these guys. Oh, by the way, we have Joe Mixon, who might be hitting women in college, but you know what? He can run a ball damn well.
Listen,
still
both people are, it was Jamar Chase and Penei Sewell. Mm-hmm. Penei hasn't allowed a sack, and Jamar Chase has 4 touchdowns. So both of them look absolutely fantastic. Maybe both teams made the right choice. I don't know yet. I think there's like the Bengals are great, but the Steelers are just what they are. It's like unless their
Mhm.
defense or their special teams causes 2+ turnovers a game, they're not going to win many games. Like this offense just can't. It's not good.
Yeah.
Ben's been washed for a couple years, and the offensive line has kind of hit it. This
Mhm.
year, it's out in the open. If you pressure them, they will not beat you. Simple.
Yeah. The next game, though, yet again, I feel like this week is a lot of like, when Jake was right.
Are we talking about Kyler
We're talking
now?
about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Yet again, they played Jacksonville. Urban
Don't
Meyer,
forget.
Jacksonville. The Jaguars played Alabama this week because that's what Urban Meyer said. Playing an NFL team is like playing Alabama each and every day. Also, before we get into this, I do want to say I'll put that graphic back up. There was a comment in YouTube chat about the Giants that I did want to read because thank you, Preston, for giving it. Said the Giants look directionless. They have Daniel Jones and Saquon both on their rookie deals and have surrounded these two with nothing, especially on defense. But he said, hey, as a Cowboys fan, I'm all in for it. Ha ha.
Yeah.
But yet again, Cardinals, they played Jacksonville. Some could say easy win. Didn't look like an easy one early on. I had a -4.5, and I was worried early on because I'm like, shit, the Cardinals might not even cover. They ended up covering. Kyler Murray is the man. Connor had 2 touchdowns. Murphy Jr. had 2 interceptions and a touchdown. You have Christian Kirk, doesn't need to get into the end zone because he'll just rack up 100 yards for you and keep the ball moving down the field. This Cardinal team kind of keeping pace with that Rams team. Rams team's getting all the highlights, but the Cardinals are keeping pace.
Who was speaking up the Cardinals before the season? I can't remember that rookie. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Kyler MVP Murray is just balling out. That's as simple as that. I can't believe I can't believe he didn't take that baseball contract when he went in the first round, rookie. Could be in Double-A right now in Somerset playing baseball. The Cardinals are great. Trevor Lawrence was really good at the beginning of this game and fell off and turned the ball over twice.
Yeah, when the plays stopped being scripted.
Yeah, you're starting to see flashes out of Lawrence, which is a good thing, which is what you want to see building up. But again, all the rookie quarterbacks are really struggling right now. There really hasn't Trey Lance is the only one who hasn't thrown a pick. That's because he hasn't thrown a ball yet. Just been running.
And I do want to ask you a question about the NFC West, but I'm going to hold it. I'm going to wait until after the Sunday night game because then we'll have talked about the Seahawks, talked about the 49ers. I'm going to put a little dog ear on that NFC.
Skip this next game.
What?
I said we basically can skip this next game.
I mean, the next game though, we got to talk some love for both of our guys. He played for both of our teams. Teddy Two Gloves getting a shutout win against Zach Wilson and the 0-7. What if both New York teams went 0-17 this year? Because they don't play each other. I looked it up. They don't play each other. What if both of them went 0-17? We get the first 18-week season, and we get 2 0-17 teams.
I wish they would if they were both 0-17, they have them play. Whichever team loses gets the number 2. You play for the number 1 pick. So if you win, you get the number 1 pick. Come on, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say except for in going back to the Steelers. They'd be a playoff team if Ben would have retired and they got Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah,
Teddy Two Gloves is doing the job that he's supposed to.
I mean, it's like I said last week. The Broncos are going to be better because their pass rush is back and they have a better quarterback.
I'll say Drew Lock. No, never.
Here's the thing. I didn't hate Drew Lock. Drew
No, you liked him. You defended him.
I did. I defended. Drew Lock isn't Daniel Jones. However, Teddy Bridgewater's better. You take the upgrade whenever there's an upgrade. Teddy's better. You get your pass rush back. Melvin Gordon's been consistent. Not great, but consistent. And you have Tim Patrick catching touchdown passes he was born to do it. So, I look at this and I go, this Bronco team, I don't know when they fall off because eventually I think they cool off and they're not going to go undefeated this year.
No, not a chance.
Maybe it's the next few weeks. They do have tough games. The Ravens, who, yet again, we argued could be 0-3, but they're a tough team. Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, Browns, those are their next 4.
Tough games.
Tough games, but winnable games.
They're all winnable. I think the Broncos are very good if they can stay healthy. I think Chubb got hurt again last week. So he's out for a
Okay.
couple of weeks. We'll see if they can stay healthy. Teddy has been very good at increments. We'll see if he can stretch it out for an entire season again. He hasn't had to do that in a couple of years because last year was just a write off because the trashy
Yeah.
organization it is the Carolina Panthers couldn't get a winning team around him.
But hey, now they look good with Sammy D, baby.
Yeah, it's a win-win trade for them getting rid of Teddy and getting Sam. But yeah, the Broncos are serious. If their defense stays healthy, they're a serious team.
The next game, we talked about the Lions being god awful for giving up that 4-19. What about this Dolphin Raiders game? I think it was overtime where it was like the Raiders went down, they kicked a field goal. Cool. All you gotta do is stop the Dolphins. They stop them on first. I'm actually gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up so I'm not wrong. I want to say it happened in overtime. So like, yeah, the 1st and 10, it's a Jacoby pass, incomplete to Will Fuller. 2nd and 10, deep left to Shaheen, 16 yards. Later on, they got it to 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20, and they convert. Like, there was like, how did you let it get to, it was 4th down or something. It's like, how did you let Miami convert that to where it's like they just needed that stop and boom, that would have been the game.
Yeah, Gruden tried to Gruden the game. Gruden definitely tried to Gruden this game, but they were very lucky that Jacoby Brissett was on the other side, and he's just strictly not good enough to be a starting quarterback. So if Tua's playing this game, it's probably a different game. I do have to say, like, the Raiders' offense has been consistently good this year, which is surprising. Derek Carr isn't doing what Derek Carr does and throw bad. Derek Carr is doing not what he used to do. I don't know how to. He's grown, I guess, so far. Yeah. Again, it's only a 3-week sample period, so if he stretches that over an entire season, it's very impressive. He used to make a lot of ill-advised passes and throw a lot of turnovers and fumble the ball and just make bad choices. He hasn't done that this year yet, so a week at a time. But the Raiders are starting to grow on a lot. Like they look like a serious team if they can get healthy. They didn't even have Josh Jacobs for this game.
Yep, he's been injured since week 1. I want to say.
Yes. Well, no, he played week 2.
Okay.
So week 3.
I did find it, by the way. So it was the first 4 plays out of Miami in overtime. The incomplete on 1st down. They completed a pass on 2nd and 10, but a penalty negated it for offensive holding. Then 2nd and 20, they have an incomplete pass. 3rd and 20, an incomplete pass. Raiders call a timeout. Okay, we're setting up. Here's your play. The perfect play, whatever you think, is going to stop a 4th and 20, and they let Gesicki catch it over the middle and run it for a 1st down, to where I was like, how? How did you let that happen? Like, yet again, they got the win in the end. The Dolphins are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
But, like, this is one where, like you said, this was almost Jets Raiders all over again from what was it last year when the Jets beat the Raiders in New York. The Raiders, I'm gonna put
technically New Jersey, but yeah,
I'm gonna leave an eye on them because yet again, this division, the Raiders, the Broncos, are they gonna be able to keep up, or is this just hey? Eventually, the Chiefs will wake up. They will overcome.
Those division games are gonna be fun. Those division games are going to be fun. It's going to be a fun division to watch.
The next one, Jake, we got Bucks Rams. This one I was worried about for a little bit because little bit of story time with Papa Widmer here. Had Cardinals cover -4.5. Had Broncos Jets hit the under of 47.5. I'm sitting there. I'm looking pretty. I just needed one more thing, Jake. One more thing. I needed Bucks, Rams, over 55.5. They were not hitting it for a while. But then big old Tom Brady, baby, he marched down that field and he said, I'm going to get myself a touchdown, and threw a dime to Gio Bernard, baby. They hit the over. The parlay hits. Let's go. But here's the thing I want to ask you. I asked Soapy this already. He told me don't. The Rams after 3 weeks. I want you to give me your pitch to why I shouldn't right now, put a $50 bet on Matt Stafford to win MVP and a $50 bet for the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, Super Bowl one I'm not completely opposed to. The MVP one I am completely opposed to.
So I should just put a $50 bet on the Rams to win the Super Bowl right now.
I would not advise anybody to gamble. Gambling it leads to addiction. If you need help, call the number below.
Should I hedge my $100 pack, or I'm sorry, my $50 Packer bet?
No, I think you should just ride out. I think you should just calm down.
But go ahead.
No,
go ahead. I'm looking up the odds for the Rams because I don't know what their odds are right now.
I think you should just calm down and let the season play out and stop betting somebody new every week, because then you're just going to end up spending more money than you even can win. So
850.
Not worth it.
So a $50 bet would be 425. It's
not really worth it.
Where the Packers are still, their odds right now are still at the odds I got them at the beginning of the year at plus 1,200. Now the thing with the Packers is I got them on the FanDuel deal of every Packer win I get $5. So right now that $50 bet has really been a $40 bet because they've won 2 games.
Yeah, I would not advise betting with the Rams. I do like the Rams a lot. I think their offense is very good.
Oh my God. Their defense, it's like, give Matthew Stafford some weapons and look at what he can be.
Now my only problem is I really need Sean McVay to not overthink this, because he has a problem with overthinking coaching and doing too much at times.
Oh my God, this looks too easy. I need a challenge.
Exactly. If they just stay the course, they'll be a contender in the NFC for sure. They're very, very good.
I mean, I'm gonna ask it. Like, people out there are gonna be like, Ricky, don't ask it. Ricky, don't ask it. Ricky, don't ask it. I'm gonna ask it. Any worry from Tampa Bay fans after this game? Is this except for the fact that you know what? We went up against a team that is a playoff caliber team and we lost, or is it it's the beginning of the year. Tom Brady and this team will be informed by the end of the year.
Yeah, they'll be Super Bowl contenders, but this team is like, there's something about them. I know they won the Super Bowl last year.
You're talking about the Bucs.
They just seem beatable. Yeah. Like, when you watch them, I'm like, they aren't like a super team. Like,
kind of like they were beatable last year, Jake, but somebody couldn't hold on to the goddamn ball.
Yeah, Jared fucking Cook. I wish we played the Chargers this year just so somebody could just deck Jared Cook. Not hurt him, just deck him.
Okay, I was like, we rooting for injuries
now? No. Just make him feel some pain. Mm-hmm. No injury, missed time or anything. But yeah, no. Kidding aside, they're gonna be, the Bucs are gonna be fine. It's just a little bit that their secondary, looks beatable. I'm just saying their secondary does not look great. And they had Richard Sherman visit today, which I don't know who that's gonna help in this situation. But
yeah. I mean. Spider says it perfect. Rams is an elite offense. He says, although he feels like the Bucs could beat them if healthy. This Rams team is just oh my God, look at what they could have been if they had Matthew Stafford over Jared Goff. Like, I don't want to say Jared Goff is a bad quarterback.
Well, they should have never made a Super Bowl. So
what?
They should have never made a Super Bowl. So
you should have been the Saints. Saints should have been in 2 Super Bowls, the Buck one and the Rams one, right?
Trust me, I know this.
Right? Should have been in both of them. Before we get into the 2 primetime games, I guess the Vikings had a game. Like,
you want to say anything about it?
Like, so here's the thing: Kirk Cousins had a great game. Whoop-de-doo.
It is great.
It's not gonna happen every week.
Trade him.
It's not gonna fucking happen every week. Like, this is still a guy who wants to put himself in plexiglass to stop COVID. Not the smartest toolbox, or not the smartest tool in the box.
Just trade him.
I was surprised Madison had so many yards this week. I was like, damn, that was a good performance. Justin Jefferson, I knew, like, he's on my fantasy team. So, like, I knew this is the type of production he could have. This game, to me, was more of like, okay, so the Seahawks are not the Seahawks, right? They are not the same Seahawk team that I thought they were, because I thought this was going to be an easy win for the Seahawks.
We'll see. I'm not ready to say that yet. Their defense has always been a question mark over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Their offense has outperformed it. Russ doesn't look as good as he's looked in past years. But it's early in the season. Mm-hmm. So again, panic time yet? No. their offense does not look as crisp or as sharp as it has in the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a slight worry, but again, unless
Yeah.
they're sitting there in week 10 at 500, I'm not really worried about it. But their division's so good that they have the chance, if they don't get it together quickly, to fall too far behind.
Yeah, and Jamie says with quarterbacks like Goff, you have to have the perfect game. I agree. Soapy, if he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
Now we're
Jared
quoting
Cook.
Rocky IV out there.
Talking about Jared Cook.
Doing? But do you want to hear the most interesting bet I saw from week 3?
Sure.
This guy put I think it was here. Let me pull it up because I sent it to my coworker because it was just so fucking insane. So this guy put I think it was a $50 bet. No, he put a $500 bet on Alexander Madison to have the most rushing yards on Sunday, plus 150,000. He would have made $75,500.
Wow.
Guess what?
What?
Derrick Henry beat him by 1 yard.
That's so
Derrick Henry had 113.
And Derrick Henry was probably like what, minus 150? It probably was like
to have the most rushing yards. Like Madison just needed 1 more yard to have the most rushing yards.
I'd be so upset.
Like losing $500 with a possible almost like what, a quarter of 100,000 right there. That's a weird way to say that, but just $75,000.
Yeah, that's not a quarter of 100,000 either. That's three-quarters of 100,000.
Yeah, you know, fucking numbers, man. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they are the badness.
Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes maybe shit.
Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes shit. But moving on, the Sunday night game, I said it, and yet again, graphic mistake. The number should be flipped. The 30 should be by the Packers. The 28 should be by the 49ers. But I said it. We were watching it. And it happened, and I said it. JD heard it. I was like, they gave him too much time. They gave him too much time. And Aaron Rodgers proved why he's Aaron Rodgers. And he marched down that field with 0 timeouts, proving why he's going to be this year's MVP. And I am going to cash in on that $100 bet.
I don't know about the MVP, but yeah, I mean, as soon as they left, was it a minute or something like that? It was something.
37 seconds.
37 seconds. I literally and there's pictures of Green Bay fans being like, they're already cheering. 37 seconds left. Like, it's what Aaron Rodgers does. Packers didn't have any timeouts. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers said it on the Pat McAfee show today.
In football. That's what Aaron Rodgers does.
That is what he does. I was pretty mind blown. The Niners didn't manage that clock better, but not shocked as it's the Niners and Shanahan likes to coach games. So, it's what it is.
Jamie says, was reading the instant reaction to the Tua injury, and people are like, suck for Spencer Rattler. And I don't think
you want to suck for Spencer Rattler.
Realize that our pick is Phillies.
I also don't think you want to suck for Spencer Rattler because he's not that good.
You don't.
Yeah. I don't think you're taking a quarterback in this.
Just like you don't want to suck for Sam Howell because Mitch Trubisky's better.
I don't think a quarterback's going in the top 2 picks.
Dude, did you hear, by the way, who everyone has as the front runner quarterback right now?
Who?
Oh, fuck. Is his name Malik Willis? The kid out of Liberty that was at Auburn?
He
is the top quarterback right now. And I looked at it and I was like, name me the last time a kid out of Liberty. Like, that would be like if Josh Allen was the number 1 quarterback. I think Carson Wentz was the last one?
But he was number 2. He wasn't even number 1 because Goff.
That's right, because of Goff. Like, name the last small town quarterback that was like, they're going to be the first quarterback off the board.
I can't even think of it. Yeah, it's crazy. Kayvon Thibodeau and Kyle Hampton have kind of we'll get into draft later in the year, but they've kind of 1 and 2 right now. So I don't know if sucking for Spencer Rattler is going to do much because I don't think he's really going to change a franchise.
I will ask you this, though. So I'm taking that dog ear out. NFC West. Expectations before the season that this division was going to be a dogfight. And now we've got the Rams are 3-0. The Cardinals are 3-0. I think the Niners are 2-1.
Yep, and the Seahawks
are 1-2. Is this one where I think this might be the Rams division to lose. It's going to be close. But right now, like after 3 weeks, the eye test, Cardinals are good. Niners are even good, even though they lost a game. But this Rams team, I think, may run away with this division if you let them.
I think it's going to be there. As of where we stand now, I don't know if I have full faith in Jimmy Garoppolo, and the Seahawks are kind of a question mark.
Well, I mean, Trey Lance will start week 6.
I mean, I hope you're right. I just don't know if I agree. I think they might be sticking with Jimmy.
Getting injured week 5. Come on now.
Oh, I don't predict injuries.
I'm not wishing it, but it's like clockwork. Garoppolo usually gets injured.
Fair.
You can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I always think I think the Cardinals have an outside shot of staying like this, though. Cardinals are a very good team, and their offense and their defense have both been consistent. So we'll see where it goes. Right now, the Rams, though, I don't know how you're going to slow down that offense anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Rams might be the team that might be like they're the ones to beat in the NFC. Yeah. Jake, the last one. We had a little NFC East action going on. Manning, the Manning cast. I absolutely love it.
It's amazing.
I'm sad that I heard they're not going to be on for 3 more weeks.
Yeah, so they're doing 30 games in 3. They're doing 30 games in 3 years. That's what their contract was signed for. So they have to miss some games.
That's so dumb, though.
I think it might get reworked after the. I think they don't want to do a game every week. I think that's what the thing is, but we'll see.
I mean,
it might get reworked with how popular it is.
And they look like they're having fun, though.
Yeah,
and it's like
Saban was having fun. I saw Saban crack a couple smiles. I was laughing. He's like he never does.
Here's the thing, though, that I think is yet again, it's up to them. Like they don't have to go into a studio; they're doing it from their homes.
And you see their studios in their houses; yes, those are insane.
Absolutely, it makes me like it brings a tear to my eye. I don't even know if I could say that anymore. After the accusations that came out with Ric Flair, woo!
Can I do the Eli Manning the?
Yeah, the double bird. No, you got to do the salsa dance, man. You got to do the Dak Prescott salsa. But like, I look at this game and I go, I'm an idiot. First off,
for Hurts, you want to apologize for your Hurts bragging after week 1?
No, you want to go for it? Justin Hurts is a good quarterback.
Justin Hurts, yeah, I don't know who that is.
Or Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Here's the problem: the Eagles' offense, and I don't know if it's Mike or what's his name, Sirianni or however you say it. How do you say the fucking Eagles?
Sirianni.
Sirianni.
I
thought it was like Sirianni or something like that because
I think it's Sirianni.
We're making fun of it. I don't know if it's like his game plan. This offense is way too inconsistent. To where it's like,
sorry.
They look good one week, they don't look good the next week. To where it's like, is it the personnel? Is it the play calling? Is it because the personnel doesn't fit the play calling yet? Like, I don't know. I just know that the Eagles are not going to be that good this year, but that's expected. Get some more tools in the draft and then move forward. Cowboys, this is one they needed to win. Win the ones you're expected to win. Win the division. Keep it moving.
Yeah,
Jamie says fair. Jamie says lame duck. I'm assuming lame duck coach.
I just don't think that Hurts does not have a strong enough arm to stretch the field as they tried multiple times. Like early on, one of the first throws he made was that interception when he tried to stretch the field. It just didn't work, and his arm is not consistent enough to do that. Jalen Hurts, like, yes, he can get out of the pocket and run, and yes, he has good like short accuracy and all that. But if he tries to stretch the field, he can't do it consistently. That was the big criticism of him. That's why Oklahoma used him like they did in college. So yeah, again, I was never a huge Hurts guy. I think consistently his arm is way too inconsistent.
Also, Soapy told me about this. I got to give credit to the big soapster. Did you hear what Jerry Jones said about Micah Parsons? That he's as pure as mother's milk?
Yes.
Here's the thing I'm trying to figure out with this, Jake. Did Jerry Jones just compare Micah Parsons to breast milk?
Yep.
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Is breast milk that pure?
I don't know. I've never had it, Ricky.
I don't know. I wasn't breastfed.
I haven't had it since I was like 2, so no.
But here's I wasn't breastfed as a kid. I was formula
I don't even know
fed.
I don't even know if I was or not.
I know for a fact I was formula fed because my parents.
Yeah, I don't ask my mom.
I was a Gerber baby and I was formula fed.
I
That's
think
what I
maybe I
know.
was the opposite because you know how I look and how you look, so it's like maybe.
Maybe, maybe.
I'm kidding. I'm
Uh,
kidding.
any final thoughts on the NFL Week 3 as we got
It
all the
was a
way through
good.
all 16?
It was a good week. I gotta see the Thursday night game this week sucks.
Oh yes, it's fucking what is it?
Jacksonville,
Um,
Cincinnati.
yes.
The big game. The big games to
Cincinnati
look
might play
forward to.
good.
It's not a good game at all.
Cincinnati
Big
might
games.
play well.
Big games to look forward to.
What
Cardinals
this week?
Rams.
Uh-huh.
Cardinals Rams is gonna be so much fun.
Do the Lions
Um,
get their first win against the Bears?
Depends who the Bears start. We don't know who they're gonna start. Um, Steelers Packers is very interesting. This is the kind of game, I'm saying it right now. The
Mhm.
Steelers play down to their opponents and play up to their opponents. This is the kind of game the Steelers somehow end up winning. I don't know if they actually
Yeah.
pull it off. I would definitely pick the Packers, but this is always those scary games for them. And then Sunday night, baby, Buccaneers Patriots. Are the Patriots going to start 1-3, or are the Patriots going to beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers?
So here's what I'm going to start doing at the end of these every week. You
Mhm.
just gave games that you're interested in. I like
Yeah.
that. Jake's interest in games.
Mhm.
I'm just looking through the lines really quick. Lions Bears
Oh my.
tempted to take Lions +3.
Yeah.
Washington -1.5 against Falcons. Hammer that Don. Hammer
Mhm.
that Don.
No, I don't
Because
know
the
about that,
Falcons
but
are bad. Panthers +5 at Dallas. I like that
all right.
one. You've got where's the other one? Oh, Tennessee only -7.5 against the Jets. Hammer it, Don. Hammer that, Don. Tempted to take Cardinals +4.5 against the Rams. That could be a field goal game.
Oh
And
wow!
then
Wait, how are the Browns only -2?
against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. Vikings came off a win, but I may bet that.
Yeah,
And
the weird
then
line. The weird line is Panthers +5.
yeah, yeah, but
That is
Packers
a weird.
-6.5. I'd take that over the
Yeah,
Steelers.
we'll
And
see.
then I would take Raiders +3.5 against the Chargers because that's going to be a field goal game. That is
Yeah,
going to be a like if it is 3.5 by Monday night, you take the Raiders plus three
yeah,
and a half because even if the Chargers win, they're winning by 3. That's just how those games kind of end. I agree with Jamie. Panthers take the points +5. What is it?
I agree.
+5, +5.5
+5,
plus
+5.
5 against Dallas. But that is going to do it for week 3 reactions. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Remember, hit that sub button if you want to keep in tune with everything we're going on. If you're also an NBA fan, Jake and Dave, the message was sent today. It was replied to. They're planning the NBA stuff. They're planning it.
Getting there.
After, guess what, Jake? I think it is. I got to look up my early planning really quick because I did start to plan this early on. Yeah, starting after this next week of football, guess what I get to do next week? My very first one.
What?
First mock draft for the NFL, babe.
Woo!
Like usually it's like the first 4 weeks, you see where we're at, we see where the records are. I give college 5 weeks to do their thing, and then we jump into it. So the first
You
NFL
just take
mock will
Thibodeau.
be up.
You just take Thibodeau and you go number 1. And you go Kyle
number
Hamilton number 2.
number 1, number 2. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be exciting. We'll get. Yeah, I know Dave will probably want to do a not way too early because I guess it's not way too early anymore.
No, we waited
Like
because we could have done it way too early, like July. But we didn't want to.
preliminary, maybe like a big board to start the NBA season.
That'll
for
probably
that.
be what
Like,
it is.
oh, it
Yeah.
is gonna be a great season. But let us know what you think down below. Hit that sub button. Join the Discord if you're not in it already. Link down below. And if you want to support us, check out patreon.com/MVPvids or become a channel member today. That'll do it for Jake and I. We will be back next week. Thank you to everyone who watched this video, who commented, who talked in YouTube chat. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.